Howdy, y'all. My name is Josh, and you might ask, why is there now yet another page like this on social media? Well, I'll tell you. It's because we've reached a point in the climate at this time in our nation's history where critical thought is under attack. I've never been a political individual, not until this year. And full disclosure, I was no fan of Donald Trump for at least the first 2+ years of his presidency. I believed him to be a racist and everything else that was claimed about him. To be honest, I thought the man was a clown. I heard about him even praising and saying that there are good people in the KKK in Charlottesville. Soon thereafter, I began to hear people in the black community more and more talking about how they're supporting Trump. And that didn't add up to me. Why would folks in the black community support a man praising the KKK, I thought. Out of curiosity, I searched for the speech that Trump gave in Charlottesville and was shocked to find out he actually did not praise the people in the KKK at all. The media was literally lying to me, and I was curious. If they falsified that, then what else could they have been dishonest about? The more I dug, the clearer it became. The president was not the man the media and the left was claiming that he was, yet the world seemed to be burning because of it. And that is the beginning of my deep dive into the political world of 2020. Heck, even during the presidential rallies, Biden himself told the same lie while looking into the camera, into the proverbial eyes of the American people, and he did so showing such heartfelt conviction. And it did not stop there. I have sat back, mostly quiet, and I've watched as facts have been under attack, abandoned or manipulated as if they are just bits of clay made to be shaped and reshaped to fit a personal agenda. Facts are truths, and truth has always been under attack since the beginning. But as it relates to the United States today, there are millions of people in our country who handle the precious treasure of truth as if it shapes itself to them and not themselves to it, manipulating it to what they want it to be rather than aligning themselves to it. By my use of the word truth, I'm not trying to attempt to engage in some existential discovery, but rather in simple truths, facts, right in front of people's faces, yet ignored. Facts that people trash in the place of opinions of the emotionally reactionary. So I created this page because this year things have changed. In the political realm, I have fought to remain objective, giving any candidate credit for the good that they have done, and also call out the not so great. However, even in that, I have been abused, attacked, and canceled by many who assert that I am all manner of awful things pertaining to my character and my person, not because I engage respectfully and have tried to understand the other perspective while presenting the facts over the issues facing the United States today, but because I simply held a view different from theirs. And apparently, that is enough to make me dangerous and make one extreme. Two words among many that have been shanghaied and redefined to mean whatever is advantageous in the moment. I have been screamed at and shut out, and my character has been assassinated with the use of so many differently charged words just pregnant with hate and rage. And I have watched how one side can freely post, especially over social media, whatever they want without issue or consequence, while the other is attacked and canceled and censored, even if the facts support them, the ears of the low-informed tightly plugged against it. Regardless of where someone finds themselves along the political spectrum, I try to make gentle attempts at correcting misinformation, as misinformation is not helpful to anyone. And I, among many, have been at the receiving end of the indiscriminate brutality of cancel culture, nothing more than a method of psychological terrorism used by so many on the progressive end of the spectrum. And it has come to a point to where I see so much in the way of just rage and hatred being widely spread by even people I love. And if I say anything about it, even gently, I am quickly and unjustly scorned. And I have found myself frustrated and feeling helpless while I see absolute lies freely disseminated with a reckless abandon causing harm this nation does not need. I have been forced to be quiet and expected to sit obediently in the shadows. Well, I cannot be quiet and sit obediently anymore, and neither should any of us. There finally comes a point where enough is enough, and it is time to take a stand. For those of us who are more conservative and refuse to any longer receive the abuse of a cancel culture running unchecked, it is now our time to gather and have our voices be heard. Those on the left, remember, they're not always wrong, and those on the right are not always right. It is important to always have that understanding, and in that dig for what is true and what isn't from either side. I myself lean more conservative, but I'm not married to any candidate or political party. There are some great Democrats and some rotten Republicans. I want the truth, and I want to align myself with it. I want facts presented. But now it takes an incredible amount of effort to dig for them, as we are no longer getting them from traditional sources, having so discredited themselves. That has left me in a space where I am speaking out to counter the refuse of the ill-informed being thrown around and to encourage those, regardless of political affiliation and various views, to keep digging for the facts and stand against the greater cultural deceptions that are pushing nefarious agendas and tearing this nation apart. So this page is a way for me to get my voice out, and I hope by doing so, those who also want facts over fiction can get their voice out as well. And above all this, the Constitution comes first, and we must fight to defend it at all costs. That is what stands in the way of our treasured democratic republic and way of life, and the move toward a democracy than a democratic socialism we see certain of those in positions of power fighting to move our country toward. We Americans can all have opinions and various views in different ways over different issues in which we feel something could be done, and when engaged in respectfully and with love for one another, not the anger and the hatred we see running freely on our streets, we can be better for it. In saying that, there are certain things we must always defend and be prepared to be attacked for defending, the greatest of which is the Constitution. Because without it, well, I think you know. I've had people tell me, just stay out of it and don't ruffle any feathers, or just ignore it and it'll go back to normal, or don't make it a big deal. But the thing is it is a big deal, and it's not going to go back to normal. There is a threat against not only our democratic republic, but our Constitution, and by that, the very foundation of all that this great nation that we all share. And because of that, I refuse to be a person who, a few years down the road, I look back and I just say, I wish I would have done something. But even for those who want to chip it away, the Constitution still stands, even for those who do not stand for it. But for those of us who do, for those of us who want unity under our banner of liberty, unwilling to relinquish our rights, we cannot allow false narratives the freedom to spread unchecked and unchallenged. We must be people of courage, prepared to fearlessly defend the facts, the republic, each other, respectfully calling even ourselves out if we're wrong, embracing humility to be corrected, and together fight for the preservation of our precious Constitution.